Series 1. The Parable of the Jar of Rocks. The first series introduces a timeless lesson about priorities and purpose. You'll meet a young woman who feels overwhelmed by life's pressures, only to have her perspective shifted by her mother's quiet but powerful demonstration, using rocks, pebbles, sand, and water. One day, a young woman came to her mother, overwhelmed with complaints about life. "There's just too much going on," she said. "Too many problems, too many demands on my time, and it feels like no matter how much I do, there's never enough space for what's really important." Her mother listened patiently and then silently walked over to the kitchen. She returned with a large, empty glass jar, a collection of big rocks, a bag of small pebbles, a jar of sand, and a pitcher of water. The daughter watched, curious but confused. The mother picked up the large rocks and placed them one by one into the jar until they reached the top. "Is the jar full?" she asked her daughter. "Yes," the daughter replied. "It's full." Her mother smiled knowingly and reached for the bag of pebbles. She poured them into the jar, shaking it gently. The smaller stones slid into the spaces between the large rocks. "How about now? Is it full?" The daughter's eyes narrowed as she saw what was happening. "I guess not," she admitted. Her mother then picked up the jar of sand and slowly poured it into the jar. The fine grains sifted down, filling the tiny crevices between the rocks and pebbles. She shook the jar again. "Now is it full?" she asked. "Probably not," the daughter said, catching on. Finally, the mother took the pitcher of water and slowly poured it into the jar. The water flowed into every remaining gap until it reached the brim. "Now it's full," the daughter said with certainty. Her mother set the jar down, looked her daughter in the eyes, and said, "Here's the lesson, my dear. If you don't put the big rocks in first, you'll never be able to fit them in later." The daughter sat quietly, thinking about what it all meant. Her mother continued, "The big rocks are the most important things in your life. Your health, your family, your dreams, your faith, and the things that bring true fulfillment. If you spend all your time and energy on the small stuff, like the pebbles, the sand, and the water, you'll never have room for the big rocks. But if you prioritize the big rocks first, everything else will find its place." The daughter nodded slowly, seeing her life in a new light. Now that you've seen the power of prioritizing your big rocks, it's time to go deeper. Imagine your life as not just one jar, but 3. Each jar holds something vital: life, wealth, and wisdom. While the parable of the jar of rocks focuses on filling one jar, this next series challenges you to think about the bigger picture. What's in your jar of life? Your jar of wealth? Your jar of wisdom? The next series invites you to break down these 3 essential jars and understand how each one plays a critical role in a meaningful life. The journey to rediscover what's missing isn't just about filling one jar, it's about filling all 3.